back to dennypark English Reading Show. I'm going to introduce you to the George Brown Class Clown Dance Your Pants Off by Nancy Krolik, illustrated by Aaron Bletcher. Did you remember I read you chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 chapters in the last video? Yeah, now it's time to read the chapter 8. Let's explore this chapter together and find out what happens. By Wednesday evening, it seemed as through every store in Beaverbrook had a vote for Miss Mildred Kelly posted in the window. There was no way anyone in town could miss seeing them. Just in case, George wanted to email all the kids in the 4th grade to remind them to watch the show and vote for Miss Kelly. But before George could type even one word, a brand new email arrived in his inbox. Life with Louie starts in 2 minutes. You don't want to miss this one. Everyone is gonna be talking about it tomorrow. Louie was wrong. George wanted to miss Life with Louie. He really did. But somehow he couldn't stop himself from clicking the link. He just had to see how Louie was going to make a jerk of himself this time. The minute George clicked on the link, he showed Louie, dressed in a furry red bathrobe and wearing a clear shower cap on his head. Oh boy, this was gonna be good. I love to sing in the shower, said Louie. Louie said. He turned to look at his off-screen cameraman. Max, follow me. Louie began to walk down the hall. Max followed close behind, so close that pretty soon all you could see was the blur of Louie's brand red robe. It looked like someone had splashed blood all over the computer screen. Louie stopped short. Max bumped right into him and fell on the ground with a thud. The camera titled upward so that all you could see was the inside of Louie's nose. George laughed. There was a big booger up there. You can't come in the bathroom with me, Louie shouted at Max. Just stay out here, and I'll sing really loud. And with that, he slammed the door. Now all George could see was the bathroom door, and all he could hear was Louie screeching out his favorite song. Louie, Louie, oh no, we gotta go. Ay, 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 ay. George clicked off the computer screen. There was only so much a guy could take. Nice shower cap, Louie, George said as Chris met up with the other kid in the schoolyard the next morning. Louie glared at George. I have a very dry scalp, he said. If I wash my hair every day, I'll get dandruff. Why did you take a shower in the middle of your show anyway? Juliana asked him. No one could see you, but you could hear me, Louie said. That was the whole part, and you could see me before I went into my bathroom. He glared at George. My whole face, not just my head. Oh yeah, Alex said. We saw all of you, including your nostrils. George laughed. You got a lot of hair up there, he said, and a lot of stuff too. Achoo! George, Alex and George laughed. So did Chris, Juliana, and Sage. Max and Mike started too, but one look from Louie stopped them cold. George thought about making other crank about Louie's shower cap and nose hairs, but he stopped himself. That wasn't something the new and improved George would do. Besides, the kid had more important things to think about than life with Louie. I'm going to wait in the line outside the TV station right after school, George said. Miss Kelly is sure to dance better if she knows people are rooting for her. My dad is driving me over. Anyone need to ride? I do. Alex said. I'll go with you, George, Chris added. Me too, said Juliana. My parents are out of the town, and my grandmother's car smells really gross. I'll ride with you too, Georgie, Sage said. I can sit next to you, or on your lap if there isn't room in the car. No, wait, that was happening. My dad's bring the van. You'll have your own seat, George told Sage. Then he walked away as fast as he could. Oh man, stuck in a van with Sage, George complained as Alex hurried into the school building. I sure hope this is gonna be worth it. It will be, said Alex. It's a secretive fact that people do better when they know where the people cheering them. So the more people you cheer and the louder we do it, the better Miss Kelly will dance, and the better chance she'll not have at winning. George grinned. He really wanted Miss Kelly to win. It would be amazing how a teacher was a real life superstar. Chapter 9. This place is a lot smaller than it looks on TV, George said. Audrey took off his seat in the Dance Your Pants studio later that day. I'm glad we got here early. We never would have gotten a seat. But now we're right down in front, Chris said. We'll see everything. Alex nodded. Then he bent down and reached under his seat. Check it out, he said, holding up a piece of hard green gum. A new piece of already being chewed gum to add in my gumball. George smiled. That's gonna be a good sign, he told Alex. Maybe that gum will bring Miss Kelly luck. I can't believe I had to postpone my Life with Louie broadcast for this. Louie groaned. I was all ready to talk about cheese and from around the world. My mom said I could use her sterling silver cheese sealer and everything. That would be interesting, Max agreed. Louie knows a lot about cheese. Yeah, no one is more cheesy than you, Louie, Mike added. George laughed. That's for sure. I wouldn't have been anyone home to watch it anyway, Juliana reminded Louie. Practically the whole fourth grade is here. I know, that's why I decided to come instead of doing my show, Louie agreed. I'll do a new Life with Louie tomorrow. No one would want to miss this discussion of a difference between Roquefort and blue cheese. Who cares what the difference is? George groaned. They both stink. My grandmother once made a blue cheese omelet. It smelled like a feet. Now much longer until the show starts? Chris asked. About 20 minutes, Alex said, looking at his watch. Oh man, Chris groaned. That's a long time to just sit here. George knew what Chris meant. He had a tough time sitting still too. Bing bong. Then it was going to get even tougher. Began just then, George felt something that never sat still. Ever. Cling, clong, ping, pong. The Subaru was back. Anyone wanted to play. Already the bubbles were bing-bonging up his battery and doing loop-de-loops in his liver. George wanted to give Alex their secret signal, but Alex was looking at the other way and talking to Juliana. But the bubbles are using George's tongue as a trampoline. Bing, bong, bong. Georgie, are you okay? Sage asked him. Your eyes are buggling. Burp. George let out the loudest burp anyone had ever had and ever heard. The whole audience stared at him. Georgie, Sage shouted. Surprised, George opened his mouth to say, Excuse me, but that's not what it came out. Instead, George's mouth shouted, I've got boogie fever. The next thing anyone knew, George's feet were dancing their way down the aisle to the Dance Your Pants studio and climbing the steps of the stage. The audience started to laugh. "Kid, get down from there!" one of the stage hands shouted. But George's feet weren't going anywhere. The Superbird had never met a stage it didn't love. George's body started dancing, his rear end in a wiggle and his belly gave a jiggle. Then he kicked his right leg and his left leg out. The audience members laughed even harder. "Oh man, George is in trouble now," Louie shouted over all the laughter. George hated being in trouble, but the bird didn't mind at all. Trouble was the Superbird's middle name, or it would have been in magical Superbirds and middle names. "Dude!" Alex shouted. He ran over the stage. "Kid, you can't be up there," the stage man shouted at Alex. George's leg kicked higher and higher. Alex reached over and grabbed George by the parent leg. Bam! George tipped and landed out right up his behind, but his rear end didn't mind. He started spinning on the stage, taking Alex with it. Alex tugged hard, trying to get George off the stage, but the bird was in charge of George now, and it wasn't going anywhere. George stood up and started doing the wrestling. Yuck! George yanked. Alex tugged even harder on George's pant leg. Oops! The pants slid off George's waist and fell down his ankles. Whoosh! Just then, George felt something popped inside his belly. All the air rushed out of him. The Superbird was gone, but George was right there, standing at the middle of the stage, in front of the whole studio audience in his nighty-whities. Everyone in the audience was laughing and pointing right at George. This was a nightmare. Just then, Guy Smarts walked into the stage. He stared at George and Alex. "Oh man, he's gonna get it now," Louie laughed. "They're going to throw out Weird and Freak right out of there." George frowned. Louie was right. He was definitely getting thrown out of here now. He was going to miss the whole show, and Alex probably would too, which wasn't fair. He just been trying to keep George out of trouble. Guy smiled at the audience. "Now, that's what I call dance your pants off," and everybody cheered loudly. "Good job, kid," Guy said, wrapping his arm around George. "You've gotten this audience really warmed up. They're in a great mood, and that makes for great TV." George didn't know what to say. He just stood there, listening to the audience cheer. "But maybe you should pull your pants up," Guy reminded him. George blushed. He bent down and pulled his pants back up. That gave these two kids one more cheer. Guy said, "Woohoo!" The audience members all shouted, clapped, and stomped their feet. Well, almost all of the audience members anyway. Louie was still and was just sitting there staring at the stage. He couldn't believe this was happening. "Now you kids better go sit down," Guy told George and Alex. "The show is about to start." He laughed. "Although I'm pretty sure none of these dancers are ever going to be able to top that." I'm going to read you the chapter 10 in the next video. If you want to watch more of my videos and read this chapter in the next video with me, all you have to do is search like this in the YouTube, Danny Parker English Reading Show. Then my videos will load it up. And don't forget to put a good sign on my video and put a subscribe on my channel. Thank you. See you later. Bye bye.